In this video, and continued in the next video, I'm going to address two well-documented accusations. The first was made at the court hearing on July 13, 2004. The second was made a week later. The first accusation is that $40,000 to $45,000, half of it belonging to my ex, disappeared just prior to the divorce. In other words, I took $20,000 to $22,000 of money belonging to her and did something with it. The second accusation was far more serious. It's that I used my position at American Express Financial to remove my ex's name from jointly owned accounts, and thus I stole those dollars from her as well. Both of these are 100% false. There isn't a grain of truth to either of them. The first accusation is documented in the July 13th transcript, which you'll have a chance to read at the end of video 6. And is mentioned again in my ex's September 10th suit filed with the court. The second accusation is documented in my ex's attorney's letter dated July 20th, and as well, it's also mentioned on the September 10th OSC. Let's briefly look at what those documents say. At the July 13th hearing, my ex's attorney was trying to prevent her client from paying anything towards the custody evaluation. Just prior to the hearing, she came and spoke with me and my attorney and asked me to explain what happened to $45,000 taken out of a cash management account in September 2003, just a month before her client filed for divorce. I showed my ex's attorney that the $45,000 was a cumulative amount taken out over a period of 2 years, not in the month of September. Nevertheless, she walked into the courtroom and said this: the community earnings, that there are about $40,000 of them, and he has been in control. I don't know where those funds are. And the account statement shows that there's $49,000 going in and $45,000 coming out. By the time I'm done with this next video, you'll have had 5 or 6 minutes of education in reading an American Express financial statement, and you'll understand how to read them just as well as my ex or her friend Annette Nakora, whom I believe helped my ex formulate these accusations. I believe she is 100% complicit in making and spreading both of these accusations. The second accusation made on July 20th is far more serious. Due to restraining orders, the second accusation, if it was true in any sense, would cost me my licenses and my livelihood. It could also lead to my arrest, prosecution, and jail time. My ex's attorney wrote this on July 20th. American Express told her client that funds that I was managing on her behalf have been transferred to his name only. That is in direct violation of a mutual restraining orders, and he used his position to unlawfully withdraw the funds. He surreptitiously transferred and breached his fiduciary duty, used his position to unlawfully withdraw the funds. You'll be able to read this full letter at the end of this video. And then, of course, the third place that we see both of these is in the September 10th OSC, where my ex says this: I was told that my name had been removed from the joint account and placed solely in respondent's name, and I no longer had access to the joint accounts of $40,000. And then she goes on to talk about $40,000 that have been depleted. The matter is very clear to me now, but back then I just couldn't fathom someone lying with such malicious intent. It wasn't until I got the September 10th OSC that I understood the matter and how they were trying to deceive the court. I'm going to deal with this second and much more serious accusation in the next video. Let's turn our attention now to the first accusation that I caused $40,000 or more to disappear around September of 2003. This is the September 1st to September 30th, 2003 statement. This is the statement that my ex's attorney had in her hand when she asked me what happened to the $45,000. Let's scroll down to the cash management page, and let's take a look at what she was referring to. This is the number right here that she was referring to and asked me what happened to the $45,000. And this is what I explained to her. See this date up here, this 10/23/2001? It's almost 2 years prior to this statement. And that's when the account was opened. Since that account opening, $49,000 has come into the account and $44,800 has come out of the account. And it's a cumulative number. The way we prove this to ourselves is we look over here under account activity, and we see the transactions that's taken place in this account during the month of September. As we see, there's $800 going in. 2 weeks later, there's another $800 and some dollars going in. On the 9th of the month, we have $1,400 coming out, and then on the 19th of the month, we have $1,500 coming out. And so these are the transactions that take place during the month of September, and that's it. This does not add up anything close to these numbers here. And I'm going to further prove this to you. Let's go down a page just to see if there's any transactions on the next page that we can catch. And there isn't. In fact, we go on to the very next account. So there is nothing missing on this page. We are seeing everything here. Let's now go to the next month. This is September. Let's go take a look at October. Okay, we are now looking at the same page that we were looking at in September, the one that my ex's attorney had, but this is the month of October, the very next statement. And let's prove to ourselves that these are actually cumulative numbers, and it's going to be easy to do, that the money coming in and out is between this date and the current date. So we had our previous balances. We had $49,000 invested to date in September. And if we add up our transactions here, we can see that we've got purchases of $3,400. We add that to the $49,000 we had before, and now we come up with $52,754. That's pretty close to what we have here, not counting a little bit of interest and so forth that we've earned. We do the same thing for the money taken out. In the month of September, it showed $44,806. And what have we withdrawn from the account? $4,100. Now we have $48,906. And there it is, $48,906. So hopefully this has proven it to you. Without a doubt, there is no monies taken out in a lump sum at any time. So we may want to ask the question, were they confused? No. My ex was familiar with her statements, and she had been getting them for years. Moreover, she had Nanette helping her. There's an 800 number on the statements. There are offices all over the place. If they were confused, they could have easily gotten their questions answered. I believe their efforts to deceive the court had a bigger goal, and that bigger goal was to seek sympathy money from Bible students who would choose to believe the lies rather than check out the facts. And in believing those lies, they would open their wallets, and they did, to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars in loans or gifts. It takes virtually no deductive reasoning to see that the accusations are 100% false. Both the September and October statements were printed before I knew anything about my ex filing for divorce. I never hid a dime. I never acted in any way that was less than ethical. And the last time money was transferred from any joint account into any individual account was when I transferred money from our joint account in 2002 to my ex's individual account to compensate for market losses that year. In the next video, we will look at the more serious accusation that I used my position as a financial advisor to remove my ex's name from accounts, from jointly owned accounts. Please proceed to video A3, and thanks for watching this.